And welcome to the show, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Oneida County Sheriff Rob Maciol is our guest. We have the good sheriff in whenever we want to talk about law enforcement things in Oneida County. And today we're going to talk about an issue that affects really the entire state, and that's the proposal to legalize marijuana. And the sheriff has taken a stand on that. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about a benefit that's upcoming. We'll also talk about some snowmobiling issues, but before we do any of that, we'll say welcome. Good to see you again.
Thank you for having me.
You're in an interesting position because you're wearing two hats on this. You're wearing Oneida County Sheriff's Office hat, but you're also wearing the hat of the president of the New York State Sheriff's Association.
Yes, I was sworn in the beginning of this year as the president of the New York State Sheriff's Association. I'm the 85th president of the organization, which certainly in itself is an honor for me to be unanimously elected by my peers being the other sheriffs from across the state, all 62 counties represented in our association, and like I said, I'm honored to be chosen as their leader for this year. It's a one-year term, and certainly been part of the organization, the state association, since I took office 9 years ago, believe it or not. And like I said, it's a great organization with a lot of deep history. The only other sheriff in Oneida County to ever be president of the State Sheriff's Association, believe it or not, was my predecessor, Sheriff Middaugh. He was the first ever Oneida County sheriff to be president, and now I'm the second. So certainly, it's a great organization. And we're centered, we're officed right in Albany. We have an office right across from the Capitol.
You do a lot of lobbying work, yes?
We do. At the end of the day, because we're dealing with several issues this year, but two of them we're focusing a lot of our attention on right now. It's marijuana, the proposal to legalize marijuana, and bail reform, which we can talk about after if we have a chance. But at the end of the day, because I've had critics out there who are saying, look, you're not a legislator. Why are you doing this? What business is it of yours? Well, it's pretty simple. Myself and the other sheriffs around New York State, we take an oath of office to protect our people and our community. And we have to do everything in our power to keep our community and our people safe. And darn it all, by legalizing marijuana, our communities will become less safe. I want to put a disclaimer out there. We are not opposed to medical marijuana. We are not, when it's controlled by a doctor. We are opposed to recreational marijuana. And there's lots of reasons, but some of the ones that stand out, the one that we just can't get past, when we look at other states and we compared other states who have legalized marijuana, a lot of studies that have gone on in Colorado. I mean, when you see in a state that previously legalized marijuana, in their fatal car accidents in the first year that they legalized marijuana, when their fatal car accidents spiked by 74%, this isn't just a car accident, this is a fatal accident where someone has died, spiked by 74% in the first year. That in itself is enough to say, hold on, time out, let's put the brakes on, let's make sure we do this right. And we have serious concerns because we know folks are going to die when this happens. It's just the statistics are telling us that is going to happen. It's happened in other places, and it's going to happen here.
I wonder if the lobbying efforts by you, and I think the Teachers Association has also come out against it, and now the governor has said, well, it's not going to happen this budget year.
Right. It's not going to happen in the budget process. We're still not quite sure where the rest of the year guides us. But the one thing that we couldn't figure out, because this is a significant change to what New York has ever been used to. So all we're saying is, look, we want to be able to have our opportunity to put our views out there, whether we're talking about fatal car accidents, whether we're talking about the damage it's going to do to children, the damage to unborn children, the secondhand smoke, the marketing that's focused on children. I mean, we've spent millions and millions and millions of dollars locally here educating people to not smoke tobacco products. Now we're going to let them do this. It's just very frustrating. Not to mention the law enforcement costs that are going to come with this. This is another unfunded mandate. But all these things, we were very concerned by it being in the budget. It's going to sweep through in the middle of the night like the SAFE Act did, and we're still to this day dealing with the consequences of the SAFE Act. We just don't want to go through that with this.
What does happen when a Oneida County Sheriff's deputy pulls over someone, smells marijuana? What's the protocol?
Pulling them over and smelling marijuana, that scenario will be a lot easier for us to deal with. The problem is pulling someone over or investigating an accident where we don't know if someone is under the influence of marijuana. Unlike alcohol, which leaves your system over time, a very brief period of time, and you can smell the odor of the alcoholic beverage. With marijuana, that stays in your system a minimum of 30 days. And it'll affect your body different ways over those 30 to 45 to 60 days. So we don't know if someone has smoked marijuana 3 hours ago, 3 days ago, 3 weeks ago, but it may have impacted their impairment or done something to their impairment which caused this collision to occur. And there's no roadside technology today, none exists here in the U.S. to test roadside for marijuana levels in a person's body. Unlike alcohol, where we can do field sobriety tests, we can have someone blow into an Alka-Sensor, we put all these things together and we can make a determination if they're intoxicated. That technology doesn't exist for marijuana. It's a scary road, it's a slippery slope that we're going down, and as the chief law enforcement officer of this county, and like I said, with my colleagues across the whole state, we don't like it.
There's also another aspect you don't like, and that the governor has put forth, and that's bail reform.
Bail reform. He's calling for reform of the criminal justice system. We don't disagree with that. We want to ensure, like everybody else in this state, in this country, that the scale of justice is balanced. We want to make sure that everyone is being treated equally. We want to make sure that, because of someone's race or financial background, that they're not treated any differently than anyone else. We get that. We totally understand. But his proposal is to do away with the bail system, which basically, in a nutshell, means that anybody that gets arrested for anything short of 5 different categories, violent things, they will have to be given an appearance ticket only. They won't be arraigned in front of a judge. Bail won't be set, and they won't be held in a county jail, which means we could come up with a ton of scenarios. But if there's an assault or a fight, or the police are breaking up a dispute, and someone fights with the police, and there's a resisting arrest charge, fighting with a police officer, they're going to be given an appearance ticket. Okay, assaulting a teacher or a school superintendent, an assault third, they're going to be given an appearance ticket. I mean, this is just unheard of, and again, it puts this public at serious risk here.
You reminded me too about when you mentioned schools, because you're looking for some people to be in the schools, yes?
Yes, we are.
When we come back, let's talk about that.
Absolutely.
Oneida County Sheriff Rob Maciol is our guest. Short break, right back.